Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Metis. Metis is another L2 running on top of ETH, and these days we're hearing a lot about Arbitrum, optimism, and not enough about Metis. So I want to take a deep dive into this project and see if it's worth any type of investment for me. I also want to take a look at, Tokenomics, the founders, and to see if Metis could be an investment in the future. If it's a gem, if it's truly a low cap gem that can blow come this next bull cycle. So if that's something that interests you, stay tuned till the end of the video and see what my findings are. And if you like any of the content that you see, please hit the like button. It will definitely help the channel grow. And if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe to the channel. So let's get into it. So what got me thinking about Metis was I saw this on Crypto Dep, and it was talking about the top projects with a market cap under 300 million. And I've heard of Harmony One, I've heard of Glimmer, and I've heard of obviously Cadena. It's one of the channel's picks. I've heard of Flux, but I didn't hear of Metis. And when I looked at that, I just started taking a look at the project, looking at the founders, and I saw that it was, wow, it's an L2 running on top of ETH. Why am I not hearing more about this? And so that's what led to this video, and that's why I want to take a look at it and see what we find. So what's the history of Metis and what is it? So it was founded in 2018 and the mainnet launched in November of 2022. It's an ETH layer 2 blockchain and it's created by Metis Labs. It began as a hard fork, oddly enough, of Optimism, which is a competitor L2. And Metis Labs is a member of Genesee DAC, which is a VC decentralized autonomous corporation led by Vitalik Mom. And we all know Vitalik is one of the founders of ETH. What does it do? So Metis uses an optimistic roll-up approach, and this helps it reduce the time and cost of transactions. This approach uses a fraud-proof approach. And this means that proofs are needed only to dispute an invalid state of the blockchain instead of constructing validity proofs for every block. Metis, as well as other L2s on top of ETH, aim to help with ETH's transaction and when the system or blockchain gets congested, the extraordinary high gas fees. Let's talk about the tech. Metis uses something called MVM. Sounds like EVM, very similar, but MVM stands for Metis Virtual Machine, and it's EVM compatible and supports Solidity smart contracts. Additionally, off-chain apps can communicate with Metis by updating their RPC endpoint and performing minor configurations, and this helps onboarding ETH-based apps. Also, Metis uses a decentralized blockchain cloud storage protocol developed by Memo Labs. This helps to store transaction data in the event of a compromise. Also, their validators are called Rangers, and they help with staking algorithms in sync and validating transactions. Now, per the Metis website, they have over 110,000 addresses, wallet addresses. They have 5.1 million total transactions since its inception, and they have 5.1 total blocks. So let's take a look at the co-founders here. We have three of them. We have Elena Sinelnikova. She, as well as Vitalik's mom, were involved in Crypto Chicks, which is an educational nonprofit that focuses on blockchain education for women. Also, we have Kevin Louis, and he was a co-founder of Tokenomics Labs. His other experiences aren't related to crypto, but he has a background in analysis and finance. And then lastly, we have Yuan Sui, who worked for IBM for a long time and is currently the head of development for Caseware International. He is also, as far as background goes, no crypto related background. Let's take a look at CMC and see where Metis currently ranks. Currently, the rank or ticker is Metis DAO, which is the native token. It's ranked 193. At the time of the video, the price is $30.10. If we look at the market caps, about 133 million. And if we look at the 7-day percentage, it's up almost 20%, 19.7%. So positive. On the watch list, I like to look at this just to see if people are paying attention to the project. You see that only 92,000 have it on its watch list. Compared to its peers that are in hundreds of thousands, this is pretty light. But again, this could be a hidden gem that really no one's talking about. But I thought that was interesting. Now, for comparison's sake, let's look at CoinGecko. CoinGecko has it ranked at 241. All the other information is pretty much the same. But if you look at the CoinGecko, 7-day percentage activities up 21%. So that's positive. CoinGecko watch list, about 38,000 has this on their watch list. So Metis DAO, which I mentioned is the native token. What's the use case for the token? Used for gas fees for LT transactions. Also, deposits are used to activate the Metis virtual machine, the MVM, in order to create a DAC. And then lastly, when users collab, they must include collateral in a staking contract, which will serve as the commitment foundation for optimistic governance. Next, let's take a look at social media. I'm a big proponent or a big believer in having a strong community. If it has traction and people are following it, the project will survive. You can have the best tech out there, but if you don't have people behind it, if you don't have a community believing in the project, it'll go nowhere fast. So taking a look at Twitter, I see that Twitter, they have about 143 followers, so pretty light. You know, other projects we've had on the channel have, 500,000 plus. So not to say that it can't get there, but, this project, I guess, mainnet launched, November of 2022. So there's still some time. But again, there's projects that have way more followers on Twitter than they do. But Twitter, again, you have bots and everything like that. So, take that with a grain of salt. Now let's take a look at their Reddit page, see what type of following they have there. It's very light as well. They have about 1.2 thousand members. Now let's take a look at Telegram. On Telegram, they have about 20,885 members. Investors, this project is VC backed. Some of the VCs involved in this one, you have Waterdrip Capital, AC Capital, Chain Capital, Kernel Capital. So some of the same players we've seen in these VC-backed projects. So looking at TVL, they're ranked 33, and they're ranked above, Aptos, which is very popular right now, popular L1, ranked above Tezos, which is another popular L1. And then also Hedera is ranked above that, and then Stacks, which is running on top of Bitcoin, is ranked higher than that. So total value locked on Metis is about 44.8 million. So looking at the top TVL projects running on Metis, you have Hummus Exchange, Hermes Protocol, Stargate, and NetSwap. So let's take a look at the price history, current price action for Metis. So currently it is at $30.05 at the time of the video, and its all-time high was $316.02. So it's come down substantially since that all-time high, but a lot of projects has, because we're currently going through crypto winter right now. And although we've had a slight little pump, it's nowhere near the all-time highs. So this shows that this project does have promise as far as upward momentum goes. Tokenomics, they have a max supply of 10 million. At the time of release, they have 4.9 million that was released, and full distribution should be released around 2027. So taking a look at the token allocation, we see it breaks down as 32.8% was for the transaction mining. The founding team got about 7%. Metis Lab Foundation got about 4%. Advisors 1.5%. Angel investors 1%. Seed investors 6%. And then you have private 7%. Community Star 3%. Strategic 1.5%. Liquidity IDO 0.3%. Airdrop 6% of that. And then liquidity reserve 6%. And then we look at the next. So looking at the vesting schedule here, I'm not going to go over all of them just so you can get a quick idea. The founding team, 7% fixed for 6 months, followed by 12.5% every quarter for 8 quarters. Then you have Metis Lab Foundation, 4%, 10% of which will become available at the token generation event, followed by 11.25% per quarter for the following 8 quarters. Advisors, they have 1.5%, and 5% will be released at the token generation event, and then so on. So you could take a snapshot of this screen and you can see how all of that breaks down. And then this is just an illustration of the liquid supply curve and how it goes out to 2027 and beyond, and how the full total supply should be out there. Now, let's look at the whale addresses here. And what was interesting is that if you look at the top 5, you see the first wallet there has about 48.4%. The second whale has about 17.6%. Third, 2.3%. Fourth, 1.28%. And then the fifth, 1.21%. And these top 5 whales hold 70% of the supply, which is kind of concerning to me. Now, let's look at some news. And then this is regarding the Silverbank fiasco. And this is what Metis tweeted out. It said, in the wake of recent developments, we would like to assure everyone that Metis DAO Foundation has little to no exposure to Silver Bank. Our thoughts are with those impacted and hope everyone affected well-being and restoration. Let's keep building. Then also, they were part of the Ethereum Denver. So we're there as well, helping with broader Web3 adoption. So through the bear market, they're still working, still out there marketing. So I like to see that. Also, they announced on their Twitter page that they're introducing hybrid rollups. And it's combining optimistic rollup architecture with zero knowledge proofs. So that's good. And it also says build in Metis EVM equivalent layer 2 and become part of the journey towards the first hybrid rollup. Also, Aave, which is a big DeFi project, also listed on their Twitter or posted on their Twitter page that their proposal for development of Aave v3 on Metis mainnet is now live. So that's positive. Also, Era Finance also posted on their Twitter page that Pathfinder beta release is now available on Meta. That's good too. So where can you buy Metis? And I believe, having a project listed on a centralized exchange helps with the traction. It helps with it being adopted. And this one, as far as Metis goes, it hits the big ones in US. You can purchase it on KuCoin, Coinbase, and Gemini. As far as wallets go, you can get it on, get it from the centralized exchange and transfer it over to your Coinbase wallet, MetaMask, or Trust wallet. What are my thoughts on Metis? Do I think it's a good investment? There are definitely some pros and cons to this project, and I laid them out here. It's an L2 for ETH, and right now the L2s running on top of ETH are killing it. We have Polygon, which is probably the best known L2, but Arbitrum just came out with their airdrop, is doing pretty well, and Optimism is also doing well. Their DeFi is going, doing crazy things. And when you compare those market caps to what Metis has right now, I think Metis has room to grow, definitely. So I think as an investment, there's definitely upside there. But it comes with some risk. As far as another pro goes, it's way off the all-time high. We're in a bear market right now, and consistent with what I just said, I think there is upward momentum that could happen with continued, marketing from these guys and continued development and more adoption. I definitely think the price could rise. Also still active during the bear market. I showed you some of the news on their Twitter posting and some of their affiliates and partnerships. So they're doing big things. Their TVL is also pretty good. Higher than some of these big L1s that we've been talking about. So that's another positive thing. And they have growing DeFi. They have Aave coming on board. We just talked about that other project. And I can see things just continuing to grow with DeFi, especially with, here in the US and not even in the US, I guess Eurozone as well, how the banking system that we know of today, I don't know how strong it is. I don't know. And DeFi may be the way to go. And that may be where a lot of investors and a lot of people will park their money. So to be in a DeFi space, I think is very strong and probably a good move. And that's what I'm looking to park some of my money in, at least. I'm not telling you to do that, but I see DeFi as being a very big portion in finance in the future. Now, some of the cons, the fraud proofs aren't 100% right now. With these rollups, optimistic rollups, none of them that are rolling out right now are 100% certain. I think if they could get completely decentralized, that'll help with that. Also, they're way behind other L2s as far as, market caps. We talked about that. It's a pro and a con. But you look at Optimism and Arbitrum, everyone's talking about them, and Polygon. Metis never gets talked about. So that could be a good thing. And that's why I think it could be a gem, because no one's really talking about it. But again, it's for a reason. Why are these other three popping off like this and no one talks about Metis? I don't know. And top 5 addresses hold 70% of the tokens. They can dump on the market at any time, and I have reservations about that. So final verdict for Metis is there's a lot to like about the project. It's completely speculative at this point. I do believe I would put a little portion for myself, just to see how things go. Add a little bit to my portfolio and monitor this project closely, because I think if the right things happen at the right time, this can be a project that can definitely blow up. The market cap is so small. They don't have a lot of tokens. So, compared to like Polygon and all its competitors, and that I think can help this rocket this price to a high level. But they have to continue working, and the adoption needs to be there. So guys, let me know what you think about Metis. Let me know if there's another L2, another project out there you'd like to talk about. and let me know your thoughts about DeFi and this banking system and what's going on right now. Is it cause for concern? And then lastly, what I'm really interested about is this Bitcoin, this bet that they're saying that it can hit $1 million in 90 days. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. And the notification bell to be notified when I come out with new content. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.